Okay. Good morning, Rabbi Isai. In case you were wondering what's going on, why am I back at home? So, yesterday I explained it, but Gershon went back to the Beis Medrash. The YouTube, I don't think, went very well. He recorded some of it, so he went back to the Beis Medrash and he was able to get Zoom recording, but it's missing the first few minutes, I think. So I'll just explain real quickly. My son has a classmate that came back with a positive test for COVID-19. So his whole class had to go home and they're in quarantine. Legally, I could go and say shiurim, whatever. I didn't feel that it was the proper thing to do. I want to take that extra precaution, so I'm staying home as well and not giving shiurim. So that's why I'm home. Yesterday, I said a little bit of a pshat. A lot of you guys weren't on, and it's not on YouTube, so I'm just going to repeat it, and I'm going to add to it. The first day when I got back here when we had to leave the Beis Medrash, unfortunately, on Shabbos daf Yud Beis, so I was a little depressed because, we were going with such momentum. We started brachas, and we had between 80 to 110 people or more in the Beis Medrash every day. And everybody was going, it was unbelievable. We had a siyum on Masechtas brachas, and people flew in from America for the siyum. Was unbelievable. And 10, 11 days later, everything was shut down, and I was worried that this momentum is going to get lost. And in fact, what happened was, we found out about this thing called Zoom, and there was about 150 people per day on Zoom, and it was amazing. Everything is great. But what I realized yesterday is that I made a mistake in my calculation. And it's a yesod for life, really. So I was thinking to myself then, that wow, what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do to us? It's unbelievable. He stopped us. We're going, we have all this momentum, and He stopped us short. And what I realized yesterday, what a mistake. It's the exact opposite. Why? Maybe what should have happened is that He should have stopped us 2 months before that. And you know what would have happened? All this excitement about daf Yomi and the Siyum HaShas. Imagine if COVID hit us 2 months earlier, just 2 months earlier, there would be no Siyum HaShas, there would be nothing. No MetLife, no Siyum in Chicago, no Siyum in Eretz Yisrael, zero. Hundreds of thousands of people with all this excitement. So all these tens of thousands of people that were added to daf Yomi because of the excitement is because it was delayed by 2 months. So here I am, I'm complaining, why did you stop us? The exact opposite. He let us go for 2 months. Those 2 months they let us go is amazing. There's stories like that all over. Like there's this big veer in, I forgot his name, maybe Donner. You guys from Gateshead, you'll tell me. He was nifter, and Reb Chaim Kanievsky, he was nifter on Purim or something. He gave a lot of money, like $1 million as tzedakah that Purim, and then he was nifter. He got killed in a car crash. Reb Chaim Kanievsky sent a shliach, and I heard this from the shliach himself, Reb Leo, what's his name, his Gabe over there said, that Reb Chaim Kanievsky sent him to tell the mishpacha that he should have been nifter really 10 years earlier, and that he had some sort of, and the wife said, yeah, you know what, he was in a car accident exactly 10 years before, and he got out of it. One of these things. It depends how you look at it. Like, wow, look what happened. We got shut down. No, we got shut down. It was a chesed that we got shut down 2 months later. Otherwise, all this. One more nekuda that I want to say, because we are in this environment here, instead of emails maybe, is that I realized also yesterday, I was thinking about it. What is the number one thing about COVID? What did it do to us? In my opinion, it took away our achdus. When we congregate in shul, and after shul we all shmooze and get together, or we congregate at a wedding, we congregate on a bus, it took away our achdus. Unfortunately, people were being nifter in the hospital alone. That loneliness, not being with family, doing the seder by yourself. It's all about the exact opposite of achdus. And I feel that this year especially, we have such an achdus. We have people from Crown Heights, Chabad. We have Litvaks, Misnagdim from Ramat Bet Shemesh. We have Hasidim in Borough Park and modern Orthodox people from Moreshet and the top of the thing, Kippas Rugaz and velvet yarmulkes and Bieber hits and streimels and it all. We have Tamid Chachamim, we have a bunch of Magid Shiurim in our shir itself, in the Beis Medrash itself. People with beards, koil guys, the whole gamut. So, I'm going to say this. I'm asking, I don't know. If everybody, we all know one person, probably most of us know one person that we don't speak to. We're not on good terms with them. We're in a fight. We're in a machlokes. If we fight, look at this. We fight fire with fire. COVID is here to take away the achdus, and if we go out of our way, we go out of our comfort zone, and we make that one phone call, right after shir, one phone call to that one person that we're not 100% with. That's how we're going to break this COVID. And I could get out of my house, and we could go back to the Beis Medrash and be there together and learn Torah b'ahava. We're holding Daf Kuf Yud Daled, Daf Kid. The bottom of the last words of Daf Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Beis. Omer Ravacha bar Abba, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. We're going to have a nice, easy sugya, and then like more of a gazeta, and then we're going to go into an interesting sugya about Shabbos and Yom Kippur. Says the Gemara, how do we know this concept that Kadosh Baruch Hu appreciates when we change our clothing? Because we just came back from this beautiful pasuk, Im Toshev Mishabbos Raglecha, that on Shabbos you're not supposed to wear the same clothing you wear in the weekday. You're not supposed to talk the same way. As Taisus says over here, you shouldn't even talk, period. You should really lessen the amount of words that come out of your mouth on Shabbos, etc. So going back to that idea that your clothing should be different on Shabbos, how do you know this concept? Because Baruch Hu appreciates you change a good change of clothing. So we're talking about the Yitzhas Hadeshen. You take out the ashes every so often from the Beis Hamikdash. So when he takes it out, obviously he's going to become dirty from it. So he wears lesser clothes. And then when he goes, then he does a switch of clothing. Clothing that you just made a kugel with and you stink from fried onions. You don't go and you serve your Rebbe a drink. So when it comes to the Beis Hamikdash, you just Eitan, it's not that funny, come on. So when you just finished taking out the Yitzhas Hadeshen, you just made a kugel, you don't go back into the Beis Hamikdash and be makriv a carbon, that's like to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, put something on the Mizbeach. You probably remember this Gemara from Brachas. You shouldn't walk out into the shuk with shoes that have a patch. But he did go out with a patch. Yeah.
They're pointing out that you finished at the 2 dots last night.
Which one?
That would be 5 lines of Gemara that you skipped.
Oh, really?
That's what they're saying. I wasn't there.
Let me think if they are right. No, they are wrong. I 100% said it. Don't listen to them. I'll prove it to them. We learned about Tachas Kvaydai, a 3-way machlokes. There's a 3-way machlokes. 2 agree with each other, just they arrived to the conclusion from different ways. Rabbi Isa, you weren't paying attention, it's all at the end. Of course we learned it. Weiter. You know what, go back to the videotape. Now they're not going to prove it from the video because the video is probably cut off. No, we learned it. Whoever wants to listen to it afterwards, I have no problem repeating it later. But no, the shaila is on you. How come you weren't on to say whether or not we learned it? Ooh, Matzah Shabbos. Here, Dr. I forgot his last name, Aberman, something like that. Dr. Aberman, did we learn it last night? Here, he's on. He'll tell you. Mati. Remember, I'll prove it to you. We learned that the 180,000 soldiers of Sancheir died, according to Rabbi Yochanan. They disintegrated like a laser beam, I said. The laser went through their clothing, they became ashes, and the clothing remained. 100% I learned it. And then I said, how do you say madim in English? And Yeshua said, uniform. That's the sugya. Okay, great. Says the Gemara. Omer Rachamim betlai agabi tlai. The Isser is one. Oh, we have a picture here. By the way, Rabbi Isai, no email. We can't go without an email. Here's a picture of Moshe Apter, who's on today, and he's on every single day. He's one of those boys together with Yoel Bergman, who hasn't sent me a picture in a long time. I'm waiting. I see Yoel Bergman on there. It says like this: Moshe loves learning because of you. And here he is, barbecuing, grilling in Montreal, Canada, every single day. You guys know him? Here. So if the shoe has a double V's, 1 and 2, that's a problem. One of them, you go in the shuk like this with 1, you're good. By the way, if you remember, we had in Brachas, I'll remind you real quickly that the Gemara over there makes 2 distinctions. Whether the patch is on the bottom, on the top, or whether it's the winter. Very good, Eli. In the winter, in the summer, there's mud, not mud. Okay. A very famous Gemara. A Talmid Chacham who has a stain, some oil on his clothing, chayiv misa. It's an amazing concept. Rashi says, this is not covered at Torah. People are going to look at him and say, what? This is what a Talmid Chacham looks like. Shenemar kol misanai ohavu mavis. My haters love death. I'll take your misanai ela masniai. An amazing concept. A person that's a Talmid Chacham has to carry himself in a different way. They immediately start pointing, look, here's the guy, the rabbi did this, the rabbi did that. So if he has stains on his clothing, he has dandruff coming down his shoulders, whatever, he looks like a shlump, his thing is up like this, nobody's going to want to learn Torah. They said, this is a Talmid Chacham. He's going to make people hate Torah. I'm thinking now, I'm sitting over here, and there's a guy, I saw him a second ago, I don't know where he's on the screen, he knows who he is. So one day I stood up. Now, you have these famous stories that people were doing these Zoom meetings, and they stood up and they forgot that they weren't wearing pants, and everybody in the Zoom, so they're just wearing a nice shirt. I stood up once, and I guess my shirt wasn't tucked in, and this guy wrote me, I saw him on before, he's on the screen somewhere. This guy wrote me a whole long email. It's not Bakovadik, you're right that nobody sees, but how does a Talmid Chacham, da. So he made a whole thing out of it. Maybe based on this Gemara. I'm not a Talmid Chacham, but he said, okay, people learning Torah and they shouldn't see your shirt untucked. I hear, fine. Today I was makbid, I went to the mirror 3 times to make sure everything is perfect, just in case I stand up by mistake. Okay, but the point is that people are going to point, and I don't want to learn Torah from this guy. Look at this Greece guy. Mamish, all greasy and everything. I don't want it. Ravina Omar, the Rabbeinu Chanal says, if you look at the top lines over here, he says, people are going to be worried to get dirty from him. They're going to stay away from him to learn Torah. Interesting pshat. Ravina Omar, Rivadid Mar, says Rashi, we're talking about Shichva Zera here. We're not talking about a stain, a regular stain. V'loi pligi, but there's no machlokes. Habe glima, habe levusha. There's the outer clothing and you have your undershirt. The outer one that everybody sees is a regular stain. The inner one, perhaps somebody can take a peek there if your shirt is slightly open and they'll see a shichva zera. Oh, that's really bad. My servant Yishayahu went naked and barefoot. What? Literally naked that doesn't make sense. Because Baruch Hu told Yishayahu to go for 3 years like this, but not naked. Means that he should go with ripped clothing and shoes that have patches. Exactly what we were saying that you shouldn't do. Because Baruch Hu told him, I want you to walk around like that. Tanan Hassam, Revav, I had a guy, there was a big Talmid Chacham in Chaim Berlin, a big Eloi. He later on opened up yeshiva. I don't want to mention his name because of the story. He used to give us chaburas. He literally had like paper towels and tissues coming out of his clothing over here. I saw this guy, he was davening Shmoneh Esrei, with my own eyes I saw this. He was davening Shmoneh Esrei, smacking middle Shmoneh Esrei. He turned around, went to the Svarim Shrank, to the bookcase, and pulled out a sefer and started learning like he forgot he's a middle Shmoneh Esrei. These kind of people. It says you have to You have to look proper. You can't have paper towels coming out of here and this and that. Who's going to want to learn Torah? We love learning from him, but you got to be careful. Not awesome. Revav al amardeya, chaytzitz. We're talking about chatzitza when it comes to the mikvah, and the concept is if something is, that you are makpid, you care about, you don't like it. If you have a stain on your clothing and you send it to the cleaners to be cleaned, that means you're makpid. You're willing to spend that money to get it clean. So if you have a stain on the saddle cloth of your donkey, your horse, chaytzitz. I care. Look, it's like a car. In those days, it's a car. I don't want it in my car. I don't want a dent in my car. I right away go to the shop and I have it painted again. I don't want a stain on my saddle cloth. What is that, Gary? Shkoyach, Gary. Thanks for being up last night. You need at least the size of an Isar Talki, whatever the size is, let's say this size. Not stama. That's Nachman Seltzer in the Beis Medrash, and he's telling me we skipped something. Where are we? Why is he saying that? Let's see. No, I didn't skip anything. Sorry. No, that's later. Nachman, that's much later. My Benoy. I'm way before that. I wish I was there. No, it's not awesome. I'm holding it's not awesome. It's okay. So if the stain is on the surface of the beged, I don't care that much. So it doesn't cause a chatzitza for tefillah. But if it's on both sides, it goes through and through the stain, then I care about it, then it's a chatzitza. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Shmuel. Oh, and now there's a machlokes what Rabbi Shmuel said. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Shmuel, Af mitzad echad chaytzitz. Even on one side of a clothing, that's considered a chatzitza. Boy, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Rabbi Chanina, Mardas. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, that says one side is chaytzitz. What about this saddle cloth? Mitzad echad mishnei tzdadim. Do I need that the saddle cloth should also go through and through? Or, like Rabbi Shmuel said, one side is enough. I don't know exactly, but I heard something similar. That's not Rabbi Yossi Omer Shel Banoim. Oh, Nachman, I got to Banoim here. See? Shel Banoim mitzad echad v'shel bur mishnei tzdadim. I'm just going to tell you the secret here. I'm going to ruin the punchline. Banoim means Talmid Chachamim according to one pshat. So if we learn like that, Rabbi Yossi Omer, and Rabbi Yossi is saying a pshat of Rabbi Shmuel. We have to say that's how what Rashi learns. Otherwise, this sugya doesn't make any sense. What are we proving? We're proving that Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Yossi at least, holds Shel Banoim. If you're a Talmid Chacham, you have to be careful how you look. You have to look proper. Mitzad echad. The stain is only on the surface. V'shel bur and Amaretz mishnei tzdadim. It has to go through and through. So the saddle cloth shouldn't be more chashuv than the clothing of an Amaretz. And the clothing of an Amaretz needs to go through and through. So too, saddle cloth has to go through and through. It cannot be that a saddle cloth has a chatzitz if it only has a surface stain. My banoi, amazing. What's a banoi? What's a builder? Who's a builder? A builder is a Talmid Chacham. Right? We say it every day in Eretz Yisrael, in Pitum HaKtoros. The Talmid Chachamim are not your sons, they're the builders. What are they building? They're building the world. Without them, there's no world. So that's why they're called Banoim. In other words, so you see this idea that a Talmid Chacham should revav al bigdoi, he has to be very careful. Even a surface stain is not appropriate. We're not talking about chatzitza here. We're talking about how he has to present himself to the tzibur so that the tzibur should come to him. They shouldn't say, oh, this guy's gross. There's boogers all over his clothing. I don't want to learn Torah from him. First parak, every kid in Cheder learns, Elam Metzias, right? You have to have a siman. If you lose something and you want to retrieve it, you have to give the guy a siman. Oh, it looked like this, like this. A Talmid Chacham doesn't have to. Talmid Chacham says, look, I don't know exactly a siman. I can't tell you it had a scratch here, there. I'm just telling you, I understand these things. Boom, that's mine. He has a tefillah sign, has a good look. But not every Talmid Chacham. That Ilui from Chaim Berlin, for instance, not necessarily does he recognize things, because he doesn't recognize that he has paper towels coming out of his pockets. So how is he going to recognize a thing? He's makbid, like, people sometimes wear their socks inside out, they have the seam. No, he doesn't wear his clothing inside out, or like there's a bacher in yeshiva, I'm not kidding, there's a guy in yeshiva, Ilui, he walked into Shachris with his tefillin box on. The tefillin were still in the box, and he walks in like, Rabbi, he was like a real Ilui, his head was in a different world. So these guys, I don't know if they have tefillah sign or not. They don't know if the box is in, the box is out, the seams are in and out, they'll wear the clothing upside down, so therefore they don't have a tefillah sign. Who is the Talmid Chacham that could be the leader of the community? You could ask him anywhere, and he knows the answer. Even in the Masechta Kala, Rashi says it's one of these Masechtas nobody learns. Or Rashi Tosfos brings another Rashi that it's a very easy Masechta. The point is that it's one of these Masechtas that there's no Svarim on, nobody reads it, it's not even part of Daf Yomi really. Masechtas Kala. I'm thinking like in our generation or in our days, the person that comes to mind for me is the Chazon Ish. Chazon Ish wrote Svarim, deep Svarim, Lamdisha things, beautiful Torah on every single part of the Torah, including Kiddush HaChodesh, on Masechtas Kelim, on Masechtas Kal, everything, on Emunah and Bitachon, on every area in the world, in Torah, he wrote. So that's the Talmid Chacham that wherever you ask him, he knows. And not to take away from other Talmid Chachamim. I'm just saying that he wrote the Svarim on every single area. Right? The whole Dateline fiasco that they had in Japan, everything, in all areas, he was fluent in. And wrote on. Who's the Talmid Chacham that the city has to support him? That person that leaves his business and deals with Chefzi Shemaim. I was getting all excited when I was reading this. I said, the Olam should support me now because I left my business. But it says like this, all you get out of this is a lousy piece of bread. The bare basic necessities. I'm Michael Toivus. Don't give me that. The bread. So now he's going back sort of and he's saying, what's a Talmid Chacham? One that you ask Allah in every place and he knows how to answer. To make him the leader on the community. If he learned Shas, but all he's fluent in is one Masechta, Ba'asrei, then he should be in charge of his one community. That's it. That one little place. But if he knows everywhere, then he could go and he could learn, he could be the leader of the Reish Mesifta of everybody. So, before we said, what's the pshat in the word Banoim? Banoim is Talmid Chachamim. Now the Gemara has a new pshat. Reb Shimon ben Lakish Amar, Rish Lakish says, Elu Kelim Hol Yorim Haboim Mimedina Sayam. These are the fancy robes. You go to the, what is it called over there? Oh, it's been a while. No, not the Hilton. The one in Yerushalayim. The Waldorf. You go to Waldorf. Go to the Waldorf. They give you a nice robe from Chutz La'aretz. They ship it in. So these are Kelim Ol Yorim. These are like towels. These fancy robe towel thingies. That's what Banoim is. So if that has a stain, you can't put it up in the Waldorf. It has a little stain. These are for the VIP. Here I skipped, so just to test Nachman out. Lemeimra dechivrininu. So if it has a stain that you're so makbid on, obviously it's white. It can't be. Bonai. Rabbi said, do me a favor, because when I was learning this, I was going crazy. I remember learning just recently, in the last few weeks, a similar sugya, and I cannot figure out where, maybe I'm dreaming, but I remember learning, and even saying a shir about it, that there was somebody that was careful how he was buried, because he was concerned that when he wakes up, he's going to look a certain way. I don't know, I don't think it was this Gemara, it was something else, and I can't figure it out. Back to that memory thing. But anyway, if you remember, please let me know. Send me an email or something. Bonai. I'll take baruni loy bekalim levanim. My tachrichim should not be white. Veloy bekalim shchayim and not black tachrichim. Levanim shemelo yeskav eikachason ben avelim. I'm concerned that maybe they won't put me in Gan Eden, and I'm gonna be I won't fit in. I'm gonna be embarrassed. Everybody's in black. They're all burnt to a crisp, and I'm wearing my white clothing. Shchayrim, don't put me in black. Tachrichim, shema eskeve ka'aval ben chasanim. Maybe I'll be like a aval. I will go to Gan Eden, and I won't fit there. I won't fit in either. I was once in the old city. I think it was like Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur time. Rosh Hashanah. I went in with my brother-in-law. We were looking for a place to daven. We walked in. There was a shul where everybody was wearing a white strimal. I don't know if you've ever seen that in your life. White strimal, white beketcha, white shoes, and a white gartel. The entire shul, the whole place. And we were wearing our black suits, literally like this. It's like one of these makubal places. I'm sure you guys know what it is somewhere. Shema eskevei kava ben chasam. You're going to walk in, they're all wearing white, and you're going to look like a fool. Elo bekelim ul yorim haboyim medinas hayam. I don't want white. I don't want black. I need ul yorim. So what's ul yorim? If it's not white or black, it's red. Obviously, the only other color is red. Al masum keninu. So what are you telling me? You're telling me that according to Rish Lakish, these towels are white. Otherwise, how are you going to see the stain? Now, if they're red, how are you going to see the stain? It's a problem. Like Ashia, habig limi habilevushay. Rabbi Yana is talking about the upper clothing. So the upper one, put me in red, he says. But the Rish Lakish is talking about a lower level, undershirt, tzitzis. That has to be white. Okay, so now we're going to the sugya of Rosh Hashanah, of Yom Kippur and Shabbos. So in the Mishnah we had that according to Rabbi Shmuel, goes like this. You're allowed to make a bed on Yom Kippur, even though the following day, Sunday, is Shabbos. Now that only happened then. Today it never happens. Yom Kippur never falls out on a Sunday, it never falls out on a Friday. Okay, but in the time of the Mishnah, it fell out on a Friday, it fell out on a Sunday. So that Machlokes Rabbi Kiva comes along and says no. Shabbos and Yom Kippur have the same Gedusha, and therefore you're not going to prepare from Shabbos to Yom Kippur. Okay. Torah Rabbanon, Oila Shabbos b'Shabbatoi. So we have this pasuk, a beautiful pasuk. Everybody's familiar with the pasuk. Oilas Shabbos b'Shabbatoi. You bring the carbon oila when on Shabbos. So why does it say b'Shabbatoi? So b'Shabbatoi actually serves two things. It's a riboy and a miyut. A riboy, inclusion, any Shabbos. But then it says b'Shabbatoi, only on that Shabbos. The vav is a miyut. You see what's going on here? The red is a riboy, the green is a miyut. So what do? Says the Gemara, if you have leftover chalavim, parts of the animal that have to be brought on the mizbeach from Shabbos, I could bring them onto the mizbeach on Sunday, even though Sunday is Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is also called Shabbos. Now, it cannot be that what the Torah is saying, bring it next Shabbos. That's 7 days from now. I can't bring a carbon that I shechted today 7 days from now. That's noisar. No carbon can last more than 2 days. So it must be that's talking about the next Shabbos, which is 1 day from now, which is Yom Kippur. Maybe the verse is also true. What if Yom Kippur is on Friday, and you have leftover carbon from Yom Kippur, I want to put on the Mizbeach on Shabbos. So I have a ribuy b'Shabbos to tell me that I could go from Yom Kippur to Shabbos. From Shabbos to Yom Kippur, from Shabbos to Yom Kippur. I could burn the chalavim on Sunday. That I learned from this word b'Shabbos, meaning on Yom Kippur. But the Vav tells me that you cannot go the opposite. I cannot bring Yom Kippur on Shabbos, b'Shabbatoi, only in that day alone. Dear Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva Oimer, Oila Shabbos b'Shabbatoi, not true. Limit al chelvei Shabbos shekrevim b'Yantav. He goes a step way down. We all know that Shabbos has more kedusha than Yantav. So he's telling you that the pasuk says that you could be makriv, whatever's left over from Shabbos, put on the Mizbeach on Yantav. Yachal ab Yom Kippur. Because according to Rabbi Kiva, Yom Kippur and Shabbos have the same kedusha. So I cannot take a carbon from Shabbos and put it on the next day, on the following day, on Yom Kippur, on the Mizbeach. It doesn't work. What I could do is take Shabbos and put it on the Mizbeach on Yantav, the following day Yantav. And I'll prove it to you. Not prove it, but it fits right into another machlokes. Machlokes is, what if a person just donated a carbon on his own? He said, I want to bring this nice oila to the Mizbeach. Could I be makriv on Shabbos? On Yantav, what do I do? Says the Gemara, I could be makriv on Yantav. Now, this is not a carbon that you have to bring. It's not obligatory. So why are you being makriv on Yantav? Because the guy decided to bring it. So therefore, I can make a great kavachaymer. A carbon that I had to bring on Shabbos and I have left over. Start the opposite. If there's a carbon I don't have to bring on Yantav, just Ruvain Schwartz decided to bring a carbon, I'm allowed to bring it on the Mizbeach on Yantav. I'm allowed to be Mechal Yantav, do Shchita, do all the things that maybe I shouldn't be doing, but are you allowed to do it? So certainly a carbon that Kosh Baruch Hu said to bring on Shabbos and it's left over, certainly I can put it on the Mizbeach on Yantav. So then what is the Torah telling us not to do? Don't bring something that was on Shabbos on Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is different. That's good according to Rabbi Shmuel. But according to Rabbi Kiva, the ain't craving beyond them. But according to Rabbi Kiva, it doesn't even begin. I don't have a kavachimer because I cannot bring Reuven Schwartz's carbon on Yantav. So therefore, I need the pasuk to say that I could go from Shabbos to Yantav. Omar Rebbe Zero. Today's Daf Kufi Dalan on the Bay, sponsored by Reb Fischel from Official Catering. Kavina beBavel, Have Amri. When I was in Bavel, they used to say, so also we had in the beginning of the Masechta, remember, they used to blow the shofar to remind people to come out of the fields and stop doing melacha on Erev Shabbos. So on Yom Kippur, which falls out on a Friday, why? Because Yom Kippur and Shabbos have the same kedusha. We're going with that Manda Omar that says Yom Kippur and Shabbos are the same. You only let people know that, hey, we're about to go into another, we got to step it up. You have to stop the melacha. But if Yom Kippur fell out on Friday, you're already not doing melacha, so what's the point of blowing a shofar? You're not going to do anything on Shabbos that you didn't do, that you weren't careful on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, you have to be careful just as much as you're careful on Shabbos. They wouldn't blow the shofar. So on Motzei Shabbos, they didn't do Havdalah. Why? Because there's nothing to do Havdalah, because we're going right in to Yom Kippur. From Motzei Shabbos, Yom Kippur is on Sunday. I'm not going to do Havdalah because I'm not going from Kodesh to anything. You only do Havdalah, as we're going to see soon, from Motzei Shabbos into Yantav, from Kedusha Chamura to Kedusha Kala. I thought that nobody's going to argue on this, he says. However, who's this, Reb Zera, right? Oh, Reb Zera, I thought nobody argues in this. However, when I got to Eretz Yisrael, I met someone that said, Rebbe Kiva, this only goes according to Rebbe Kiva. Rebbe Kiva is of the opinion that Shabbos and Yom Kippur are equal in stature, in Chumrah, and therefore you don't make Havdalah, therefore you don't blow the shofar. The Rabbi Shmuel, but according to Rabbi Shmuel, that there's a difference between Yom Kippur and Shabbos, and I could take the Shabbos chalavim from the carbon and put it on the mizbeach on Yom Kippur because Yom Kippur is less than Shabbos. Kivin Omer Chelvi Shabbos craving b'Yom Kippurim litka. You have to blow the shofar. Ki heicha de lehevi yadei the Chelvi Shabbos craving b'Yom Kippurim. What's going on here? You have Yom Kippur on Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. You have Yom Kippur on Friday. I want you to blow the shofar when Yom Kippur is about to go out, to let people know, listen to this, Rabbi Son, to let people know that if it was the reverse, if Shabbos came before Yom Kippur, which means next year, not today, because today Yom Kippur is before Yom Shabbos, so I don't have the issue anyways. The issue is only if Shabbos comes before Yom Kippur. But this year, Yom Kippur came before Shabbos. So why am I blowing the shofar? To tell people, stop, wait, look. Yom Kippur doesn't have the same Kedusha as Shabbos. And therefore, in another situation where Shabbos comes before Yom Kippur, you're allowed to take the carbon that's left over and put it on Mizbeach. It's very weird. I'm blowing the shofar to tell people that you should know there's a difference between Shabbos and Yom Kippur. And where is it Nagea? What's an Afkamina? Not this year, maybe next year. Okay. And I said, I scream out, Reb Zer says, when I heard this, Kohanim Zrizimim, who are you telling this to? You're not telling it to us, Yisraelim. You're telling it to the special Kohanim that work in the Beis HaMikdash. Those Kohanim know what they're doing. They never make mistakes. You don't have to warn them. You have to blow a shofar for them. That's not true. But now, and Rashi brings that they used to blow the shofar 21 times in the Beis HaMikdash every day. And on Erev Shabbos, on Friday, they blew it another 6 times. Shalosh la'avdil so'amim melacha, shalosh la'avdil ben kodesh l'chol. They would tell people, why would they blow it in the Beis HaMikdash? Obviously, because the Kohanim, they didn't want the Kohanim to do melacha on Shabbos. They had to warn them, hey, it's Friday, stop doing what you're doing. So you see, the Kohanim are not Zrizim. Says the Gemara, Kedamar Abaya, so Rashi says a whole ma'aseh here, that Hilni al-Malka, she donated a golden menorah, and they put it high up in the Beis HaMikdash. And when the sun started to come up, it would hit the menorah, and it would sparkle, and then people knew to say Kriya Shema. Right by the nates. So the Gemara over there asks, it's not true. Kohanim said Kriya Shema way before, because they had to do all their korbanos. So the Gemara says, on that, Kedomer Abaya Lishara Modi B'Yerushalayim. It wasn't for the Kohanim. It was for everybody else. In other words, Kohanim is Rizimim. Kohanim don't make mistakes. Kohanim don't need to be reminded, it's almost nets. You have to say Kriya Shema. Or we're going to blow the shofar so you know that Yom Kippur is less chashiv than Shabbos. It wasn't for the Kohanim. Kohanim is Rizim. We blow the shofar. Yes, it was in the Beis HaMikdash. Yes. But it was for other people to know that it's almost Shabbos and they have to stop doing melacha. Says the Gemara, Velitka, Keheicha deladi the shor b'knivas yarok. Told you, every day in Daf Yomi we learn new halachas that we never knew about before. There's a concept called knivas yarok, and that is to remove the spoiled leaves from the vegetables. You're not allowed to do that on Shabbos. But Yom Kippur you're allowed to. Why are you allowed to? As the Gemara is going to say, all the way at the end of the sugya, that people should suffer. What's the whole point of Yom Kippur? We're fasting. We're fasting to have inu nefesh. So, what are you telling me? Don't take off leaves from the vegetables because it's really for Matzah Yom Kippur. No, I want you to think about food. That's going to increase your pain and suffering. That's beautiful. Inu nefesh. Go into the kitchen, go cook, smell all the fragrances, and suffer. So says the Gemara, you should blow the shofar to tell people, look, there's a difference between Yom Kippur and Shabbos. On Shabbos, this melach is aser. On Yom Kippur, it's mutter. From mincha, meaning from mincha ktana, says the Mishnah Berurah. Omer Rav Yosef. Now, think about it. On Yom Kippur, when is Shabbos? Matzah Yom Kippur. So what am I doing with these vegetables? Nothing. I can't cook on Shabbos. Once Yom Kippur comes out, I can't do anything with these vegetables. It's Shabbos already. So why am I belonging to shofar? To tell me that next year there's a difference. Next year, Yom Kippur, I'm allowed to do it. This year I can't do it. I can't do knivas yirakos because I have nothing to do with these vegetables. Just to make food on Yom Kippur to get me hungry is not the point here. It's for me to cook on Matzah Yom Kippur. But I can't cook on Matzah Yom Kippur because Matzah Yom Kippur happens to be Shabbos. So it's for next year. Says the Gemara, Omer Rav Yosef, and the Gemara remains with this teretz. It's a very powerful teretz. I don't blow a shofar. Shofar is a problem on Shabbos. I'm not going to blow a shofar to tell somebody that you're allowed to do something. Hi Lev, by the way, Lev, it's not Liev, it's Lev. It's spelled L-I-E-V. I thought it's Liev. Sorry, I apologize. Lev, how you doing? So the point is that I cannot blow a shofar, says Rav Yosef, in order to tell you that something is mutter. I could blow a shofar to make sure that you refrain from doing melachas asurai, something that's asur, but not to tell you that you're allowed to cut a vegetable. Rav Sheshe Breder Rav Yidi Omar Shvus Kroivei Tiru. Yes, to peel a vegetable today, I'm going to blow a shofar to tell you that you can peel a vegetable today because you're going to eat it kroiva tonight. Shvus Ruchaygelei Tiru. I cannot blow a shofar today so that I know that in 365 days from now, when it's Yom Kippur again, you should know that you're allowed to peel a vegetable. Knivas yirakos. Ask the Gemara, Shvus Kroivei Tiru, did I allow this? Vasnan, Yontav Shechal, Liyos Erev Shabbos, Toikim V'loy Mavdilim. Yontav, that falls out on a Friday, I blow the shofar to differentiate, to tell people, stop. Yontif is today, and I'm allowed to cook on Yontif. I'm allowed to do Eichel Nefesh. According to Taisvis that we had, you're allowed to build a house on Yontif. Baina, if the house falls down, you're allowed to do Megavitz. So I have all these malachas that on Yontif you're allowed to, but on Shabbos not. I got to blow the shofar and tell people, hey, be careful. And this fits in very well with Rav Yosef. I'm allowed to blow a shofar to stop people. V'loy mavdilin. I don't make Avdallah from Yontif to Shabbos because Shabbos is more chomer than Yontif. But so Shabbos, if I go from Motzi Shabbos into Yontif, Mavdilin, then I have to make Havdalah because I'm going from a higher Gedusha of Shabbos to a lower Gedusha of Yontif. V'loy toikin, and I don't blow the shofar. V'amai, why don't you blow the shofar? Now when do you blow the shofar? Rashi explains, I'll blow the shofar after nightfall. In other words, into Yontif. I'm not going to blow the shofar on Shabbos, be Mechal Shabbos, to tell people, oh, Litka ki heiche leladi dishari b'shchita l'alter. I want to tell people, look, you're allowed to shecht an animal right away, right on Motzei, on a Motzei Shabbos going into Yontif. Now why? The question is, why don't I blow the shofar after Ma'ariv on Shabbos, or after nightfall? Blow the shofar, let people know, hey, you could start preparing for Yontif. Einig Yontif, you're allowed to make food for Yontif. El machvartik Rav Yosef. Just like Rav Yosef said, I don't do a Isur D'Rabbanan of blowing shofar in order to tell people what yes to do. I blow a shofar to warn them not to do. Don't do these malachas that you're doing the whole day on Yontif on Shabbos. That you shouldn't do. Omer B'Zer Omer Avuna, V'Amri Omer Baba Omer Avuna, Yom Kippurim Shechali is b'Shabbos. Now, until now we're discussing Yom Kippur falls out on a Friday or Yom Kippur falls out on a Sunday. But what if Yom Kippur falls out exactly on Shabbos? Are you permitted to do knivas yirakos? On Shabbos, you're not allowed to peel the vegetables. But what about the fact that I'm allowed to peel those vegetables on Yom Kippur, so perhaps I'm allowed to peel those vegetables on Yom Kippur that falls out on Shabbos? Maybe I'll be doicha Shabbos a little bit because of this inyan of making an ino Yom Kippur. Or when Yom Kippur Shachalis b'Shabbos, also b'knivas yarak. You're not allowed to. Shabbos takes precedence. Or Rav Mana says, Tana minayli Yom Kippur Shachalis b'Shabbos. Also b'knivas yarak, they're not allowed to. Tamaloymer Shabbosoin. It says the word Shabbosoin, Shvus. Shvus means don't do melacha. Until now we learned Shvus is the Rabbanan. No, but when the Torah says Shvus, obviously it's not talking about the Rabbanan. It means do not do melacha. Stop. Don't do melacha. In other words, it's a mitzvah asay to sit and not do anything. Don't do melacha. And lamai, ilay melacha. If it's coming to say don't do a melacha, voksiv loy sasik melacha. That I already know. You can't do lamates melachas. There's a loy sasik. Elalav. Aknivas yarek, very interesting Gemara. Oh, maybe this whole word Shavuos is telling me that you're not allowed to do peeling a vegetable is not an Isser D'Oraisa. It's not one of the Lamites Malachas. The word Shavuos, Shabbosin comes to tell you you're not allowed to do it. You have to take it easy. You're not allowed to do extracurricular activity like peeling vegetables. Shema Mina. Rabbi Yochanan says you're permitted. So we have a machlokes. Meisvei Minayim Kippurim Shechalis b'Shabbos Sha'asu b'Knivas Yorek. Tamaloymar Shabbosin Shvus. What does Rabbi Yochanan do with this word Shvus? Rabbi Yochanan has a big problem here. We proved it that the word Shvus means to peel vegetables. No, Rabbi Yochanan is going to hold that the Torah is adding one step. You're over on two things. Anytime you do malacha, you're over on a lois haseh, and in addition to that, you're also over on aseh. You have to relax. The Torah is telling you a positive. Be in a relaxed mood. You should be relaxed. And if you peel a vegetable, then you're undoing that aseh. The Vilna Gaon has a completely different girseh here, but we're not going to go into it. We have a proof, a brisa just like Rabbi Yochanan. The Vilna Gaon does a fuchal. Fine. It says before in the brisa, you're allowed to. There's a beautiful line here. You got to hear this line. You're allowed to break the nuts open and prepare those pomegranates. They're very hard. You have to cut it like this. You don't want to get all dirty. You have to bang it on a pot. Ayin YouTube how to do it to get all the things out. From mincha and on, you're allowed to start preparing. And here's the idea. I want you to be upset that it's Yom Kippur. The Vei Rabbi Yehuda, Mikanvei Krava, they would prepare the cabbage. The Vei Rabba, Gordi Kara, they would prepare the pumpkin. They would, scratch the pumpkin, whatever it means. Kivin the Chazan the Havaka Mecharfi. Listen to this Maisa. In Rabba's house, they would prepare the pumpkin. But Rabba noticed that they didn't wait until Mincha Ktana. They started earlier in the day. Omar Lahu, he lied to them. It's an amazing thing. You can learn a lot from this story. Also, Rabbi Yochanan, the one who just said that you're allowed to do Yarek on Yom Kippur, you're allowed on Shabbos, on Yom Kippur that falls out on a Shabbos. He says, a letter just came from Eretz Yisrael. By the way, I just read a letter. It says Mefurish the Asr. Rabbi Yochanan says it's Asr. He lied to them. Because if he would have said, I hold that it's Asr, it's only Rabbah. Who cares? This is Rabbah. You understand what's going on here? Rabbah in his own house, his own wife didn't listen to him. Oh, but when it comes to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbah the Goladar says that Rabbi Yochanan the Goladar in Eretz said, then, by the way, Noam, you better get your Tillim ready. You're up again. I'm at home. You're ready. Okay, good. So Mela, it's Asr. Rabbi said, don't forget what we discussed in the beginning of this year. If you have somebody that you don't talk to, you're in a machlokes with, a little bit of a fight, a little bit of make shalom. Let's fight fire with fire. Hadron aloch ve'eluk sharim, hadron aloch ve'eluk sharim, hadron aloch ve'eluk sharim. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, Rabbi Isai, don't forget, new Mesiftas, new art scrolls tomorrow. It's new Sfarim, new Parak, new Sfarim. Go, sorry.
Shir Malosh, Mama came first, Adonai.
Mama came first, Adonai. Adonai, Shema B'Gali. Mama B'Gali, Shema B'Gali. Chas L'chol L'man Tivoreh. Ki Tzaddik Yitzan Avshil Dvorei Choldi. Shina Adonai, Mishomrim L'Boiker, Shomrim L'Boiker. Shema Adonai, Shema Adonai, Goy D'Yisrael Mikol, Avnei Yisrael, V'Achinu Goy D'Yisrael. Uzman Koriv, V'Nimar Omein. Like in the good old days, I'm here. That's it. I don't have to run to Shachris. I got what? I have literally a half hour until Shachris starts here. It's 8:30. Rabbi said I'm on Zoom for, I'm not going to say I'm going to be here for a half an hour, but maybe for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Moshe Apter, Yishkoyach for the email.
So have a great day, everybody.
Oh, well.
Yishkoyach, Reb Leader. Yishkoyach. Yishkoyach.
So Ravelli, you're saying I shouldn't go to Mincha Ma'ariv today because I'm in the same situation as you.
No, you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
No, the difference is I'm giving a shir without a mask, and I'm spitting everywhere, and it's different. I have more of an achrayus.
The minion?